And now to a story you'll see only right here on WTOC. The Savannah Air National Guard serving as the main hub and staging area for relief efforts this following Hurricane Maria. The base already receiving national attention, and WTOC had the opportunity to fly with the 165th Airlift Wing to the island of St. Croix. Our Elizabeth Rollins is joining us now. And Elizabeth, talk about a quick turnaround with huge benefits.
Certainly was, David. This was one of their first relief missions from Savannah. We went down and back all in one day. Took more than 5 hours just to get there, which was longer than normal because we had to avoid Hurricane Maria, which was and still is out in the Atlantic moving north.
3000, clear for takeoff, runway 10 for dog 87.
Runway heading clear for takeoff, crew.
This wasn't your typical flight to the Caribbean. It's bare bones in the C-130. Bench seats line the walls, and the sounds of the roaring engines force you to wear earplugs or even headphones. It was no first-class ticket, but we were the first flight from Savannah to the U.S. Virgin Islands since Hurricane Maria, because as of Friday, all commercial flights were still canceled. We were the only local TV station to travel with the 165th Air National Guard, but getting down there wasn't easy.
How much of the route is impacted by, where we're going right now because of the storm?
I mean, we're probably going 45 minutes out of the way.
How far away are we from the storm right now?
We are probably 300 miles away right now.
The pilots had to navigate around changing weather conditions in countries with no fly zones. But 5.5 hours later, we finally made it to St. Croix.
Wind calm, clear to land.
All right, clear to land, runway.
As we were coming in, we could see the devastation stretch for miles. That's when the reality set in about the immediate need for this mission. There were only a handful of us on board this flight because they needed room for all of the supplies. You're looking at 17,000 pounds of water and MREs. They call that meals ready to eat. The only flights coming in and out of St. Croix's Henry Rawson Airport were military, choppers and other C-130s bringing supplies. We were on the ground less than an hour, just long enough to refuel. But we didn't have to go far to find people who had been waiting on help for 2 days.
We really appreciate it. We love the fact that they're here, they're thinking about us, and they're doing all they can.
Ingrid Francis works for Avis Rental Car at the airport. She says many of their rental cars were full of water.
We had like about 6 cars out here, and they're all flooded.
She's juggling damage at work, at home, and mourning the loss of one of her best friends.
One of my neighbors passed away. She had a heart attack, and they wasn't able to get to her.
And this family says they barely survived the storm by hiding out in their closet.
And when the roof sounded like it was about to go, I was like, guys, let's go. And the roof is about to go, and then we huddled in the closet.
After losing everything, they packed up what they could salvage and headed to the airport.
Just checking on our flight. We were scheduled to leave to go out on JetBlue on Monday, and they just said pretty much right now there's no flights going out.
Johnson and her family want to be on the next one-way flight to the U.S., where they plan to start over.
If it wasn't Harvey, it was Irma, it was Jose, and now Maria. So all of the Caribbean, it's like we can't even go to friends and family in the Caribbean. We now have to go to our friends and family in the States.
By just looking around, it was evident every person on this island took some type of hit by Maria.
In St. Croix, dog 87 is
Places are annihilated.
But it seems the force of the storm didn't break the spirit of these islanders.
I have life, I have my family, and I have my friends, and I'm thankful for that. You know, everything else is just possessions. Everything else is just possessions. So
We're going to be fine. We're going to make it.
You seem to be in good spirits.
Oh, yeah. You can't be down in the Virgin Islands. You know, this is paradise.
And even though we were here to comfort these storm victims, hearing the hope and determination in their voice was even more comforting for us as we boarded the plane just 45 minutes after we arrived. All of the food and water that they delivered was taken to a distribution center on the island. The military expects to make even more of these day trips throughout this week. To hear more about the efforts from the 165th Airlift Wing and those we talked to in St. Croix, we have those extended interviews. Just go to our website, WTOC.com.